What if the monkey had predicted the U.S. shutdown? What if a monkey had predicted the collapse of one of the world's greatest powers? It sounds crazy, right? But what if I told you that a scientific experiment forgotten for over 40 years might contain the same pattern that today threatens to paralyze the United States? Not for lack of money, but for lack of control. This is the story of an experiment that began in a simple laboratory with a monkey, and it ended with a chilling lesson about human behavior, power, and the chaos that arises when ego speaks louder than reason. In the 1980s, a group of American scientists wanted to understand how far an animal could withstand the pressure of living in a group when the rules began to break down. They placed 4 monkeys in a room, with a ladder in the center and a banana on top. Every time one of them tried to climb up, the scientists threw ice water on them all. The monkeys quickly learned to avoid the banana. Then they swapped one of the monkeys for a new one that had never gotten wet. The newcomer, seeing the banana, climbed up, but even before he reached the top, the others attacked him. They no longer knew why. They only knew that this is how things worked. Over time, all the original monkeys were replaced. None of them had received ice water, but everyone continued to beat anyone who dared to challenge the system. An entire group following a rule, without remembering the reason why it existed. Decades later, the United States, a nation built on freedom, innovation, and courage, began to face a similar dilemma. But instead of bananas and ice water, the issue was power and politics. The American shutdown, the temporary closure of the government, happens when Congress fails to approve the budget on time. Without an agreement, agencies shut down, salaries are delayed, projects are frozen, thousands of people lose their jobs overnight. And the reason? Ideological clashes, pride, and the belief that this is how it has to be. Exactly like the monkeys in the experiment. They no longer remember the real reason for the rule. They only repeat the behavior because the group has always done the same thing. Now imagine if that original monkey, the first one, the curious one, the one that tried to climb the ladder, could talk. He reportedly said, "You're fighting over nothing. The banana is right there, and nobody wants to pick it because they're afraid of something that doesn't even exist anymore." This metaphor perfectly describes the current political and social landscape of the United States, and indeed of almost the entire world. We live surrounded by invisible rules imposed by fear, tradition, or power. We follow orders, we fight over ideas, but we forget why we started doing this. And when someone tries to change, when someone climbs the ladder, the system will bring him down. The shutdown is not just an administrative pause. It is a symptom of an organism in moral collapse. While politicians argue about who is right, thousands of families await their next payment. While some talk about the economy, others are losing food on the table. And the most tragic thing is that nobody seems to remember why they're fighting. The monkey, way back, had already shown what happens when a group blindly follows orders. Truth is lost, logic fades, and instinct, the most irrational of all, takes control. But there's one detail that few people remember about this experiment. One of the monkeys, the last of the original lineage, one day approached the ladder. He looked up, he looked at the others, and simply sat down. Some say it was resignation, others believe it was understanding. Perhaps he realized that the ladder and the banana were never the problem. The problem was fear, and it is fear, disguised as politics, pride, and ideology, that is paralyzing the world's largest economy today. So, what if the monkey had predicted the U.S. government shutdown? Perhaps he hadn't spoken about politics, budget, or government. Perhaps he would only say something simple. When you forget why you fought, you've already lost. Ultimately, the monkey was more than just an animal in an experiment. It was a mirror, a reflection of ourselves. We repeat old patterns, obey out of fear, and forget to climb the ladder when the path is clear. And as long as no one has the courage to climb up again, the banana will still be there, untouched, like the dream of a country that once believed itself to be free. What if you were the monkey in this story? Would you let fear control you? Or would you climb the stairs? Comment below what you would do. And don't forget to subscribe for more thought-provoking stories.